Welcome to this episode on how to use select drop-down box when you have a has-one relationship in Rails. So let's get started. This app I had already gone through in a previous screencast. I will be adding on one more model called Publisher, where a book can be associated to one publisher. The publishers will be shown on a drop-down menu, and you can pick the publisher when you create a book. The previous screencast, I did not have any action in the books controller for creating the books since I had the book creation in the migration. Now I'm going to add them here. So first, let's say I'll have a new, and you just need something like this, book.new, and the create method is very typical. We'll have a book instantiate book with the params you get from the form, and you can have a begin rescue, use the save bang version, book was successfully created. I'll just redirect to books index here. It'll be redirected to index page, and rescue can actually do this. I didn't know that. Found out a few weeks ago. Render action new. Okay. So we have a create, very typical create that creates, and let's create the publisher model. And we'll open up the publishers. Publishers will have name that will be displayed on the drop-down box. Now I want to set up the active record associations. Book has one publisher, and publisher belongs to book. Okay. And since we have a belongs to declaration here, publishers table will have book underscore ID as a foreign key. So I will say t.references book. This will create book underscore ID, which is of type integer in the publishers table. So table is done. Now I also want some test data for publishers. So I'll just create some publishers, and the migration is done. Controller is ready. Associations are set up. Now I want to go to the view. This is where the action is. Just after choosing the author, I want to have a drop-down box for publishers. All this does is it gives a name for the select, and then this is going to create the option value, and then the text option value will be the actual value which gets submitted to the server, and the server will look it up based on the ID, and it can associate to its parent object. I'm getting all the publishers in the database, and if something is selected, that needs to be checked. That needs to be selected when the edit form is loaded. So we have new and create. Let's run the migration. create the publishers table and populate it with some publishers. Okay, now we can start the server. And let's see if we can load books new. Okay, now we want to create a new book. Let's call it as Pluto and Jupiter. And it is Jupiter as the publisher. Publisher expected got string association type mismatch. Lovely. Now this happens whenever you have some association, and let's say the blog post has many comments and you want to associate the comment to the post.comments, less than, and instead of pushing in the comment type of active record, you may be creating foo.neon and trying to push it in there, so it will throw up. So let's go to the source and investigate this thing a little bit further. As you can see, select name is book publisher, and these are the values of options, and these are the publisher names. Now what is it pass the params hash, the values that's getting passed to the server. As you can see, the book has name, rating, publisher. We don't have a publisher as an attribute in the book object. We only have an association. Okay, so let's correct this mistake. Let's go back, and here I can give any name I like. So let's call it publisher. In this case, it will be passed into the params hash outside of the books hash, and you can just say in your controller params of, you can say publisher equals publisher dot find params of publisher. This will load that particular publisher record based on the ID that was passed in from the form, and then you can say book dot publisher equals this publisher, and then you can just save it. Why am I able to do this? Because book has one publisher, so instance of this object dot publisher can be set to a object of type publisher. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, let's see if this will work. Let's reload and make sure the form name for the select is publisher. That's right. Let's say this time Mars, and I want to just do a create right now. Okay, before I do that, I want to just make sure when I redirect to index page, I print something out. Let's just say render. And there it is. Now let's see if we can load the edit form for this object. Now it's not selecting that particular object. Why is that? If you go to the update, once you create, let's go to the form. The selected should load the actual object which was saved in the database. And why is it not getting saved? let's go to update. I just want to quickly go to update here, and I'm going to do something very similar to what the create action is. I need to associate the publisher to this particular book and then do update attributes. Let's say I want to change the Pluto and Jupiter to have Mars as the publisher. Okay, now let's load edit again. It should have Mars as the publisher. There it is. It's saved. And that's it for this screencast. And if you enjoyed it, please recommend me on Working with Rails. Thank you.